Hi
Hello.
friends! So today we are here to bring you another monthly book haul! Yep, we're back with another book haul. It's a little bit late this month, but that is for good reason because we've been pretty busy and a lot of cool things have come in the mail in the meantime, so they'll all be included in this video today.
That's right. So let's start with that.
One of the things that I want to talk about before we even get to the books is, I'm sure you guys have noticed, I'm wearing a different pair of glasses today, which I really like. I like this frame in that shape. Firmu was kind enough to ask if I would try on another pair of glasses for a video, and I really like the shape of these, and I also like the design of them a lot. They're very
They have ears.
I know. You know, I will tell you guys why I ended up picking this frame. It's because it kind of reminded me of a cat. So, it's the point. Plus, I need another pair of glasses with you know, black, because mine are old and falling apart. So I grabbed them. So Firmu is a great place to look for frames that are a little bit on the more affordable side, and they're really quick about, you know, getting your prescription. It's very easy to do as long as you have the numbers that you need. You can just put it all in the site. They will get these lenses into the frame for you, of course, and there are different ways to customize and everything, and they even have some fun add-ons like cases and cleaning cloths and all of that stuff. So if you're interested, you can definitely check out the link below. Hopefully you will. This is my second pair from them. So yeah, thank you to the lovely folk at Firmu for, again, inviting me to try on another one of their pairs. And yeah. Anyway, so like usual, we're gonna start with the stuff we got from publishers, and maybe this time I'll actually remember to, you know, thank the people who sent the book, because, you know, I'm really bad at that. So first is something that I got from the novel, which is basically Little Brown, and it is a book called Light Years by Cass Morgan, and if that name sounds familiar, it's because she wrote The 100. Ooh. This one is supposedly, it's like a teen drama set in a military boarding school in space. I'm awesome. Pretty sure that is exactly what it is. I mean, I am always down for a read that's maybe not quite as heavy on the, how do I say this, on the situations and what it's tackling, and sometimes you just want something that's a bit of fun and that's easy to get through, and this sounds like it's going to be one. They sent it along with this sticker, which is pretty cool. It says Quattro Fleet Academy. I
kind of want it.
So, okay, I mean, we can share it. It's conjugal property. So yeah, I'll be interested to check this one out. I have never personally read The 100. I've never even seen the TV show, so I know nothing, basically, is what this is. Next is a book I actually got at Book Expo, but the publisher was kind enough to send me another copy of it, and that is The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell, and this is the sequel to last year's The Last Magician. That's and right. That book was so good. It is a little bit rough to get through because you have to really be investing your time into that story and into that world, but it is so worth it. I thought it was so well plotted, the world is so interesting, the characters are so complex, and I'm so excited that there is a sequel and that I have it. So since we have an extra copy, we may just do a giveaway with this one. So you better be excited for that. That one was from Simon Teen, and in case you were wondering what The Last Magician was about, it is a girl who goes back in time to stop someone from doing something that will eventually ruin the future of magic, so.
And nobody wants to ruin the future.
Also, it's set in like New York in the 1920s, I want to say, so when the gangs were around.
So many books that you've read that I have to read.
So good.
You know, we never get to read the same books anymore because there's just so much.
The next thing is a graphic novel, and this one is from Scholastic. It is the 8th volume of Amulet, Supernova, and I have read the first 7 and absolutely love them, and I'm so excited that I have this one, which almost makes me want to buy the rest of them already. I just borrowed them from the library. It's a very cute middle grade graphic novel series about 2 siblings who are fighting the good fight, and it's really fun, and I now just need to reread the rest of the series apparently, because I'm just thinking about that. And last but not least, for now, we have a book called Amber and Dusk, and it is by Lyra Celine, and I am very intrigued by this cover. I actually am not entirely sure what this one is about, but on the back it says, I deserve the chance to find where I belonged, to find a world forged in sunlight and honed on dreams, as perilous and intoxicating as the colors spilling jewel bright from my fingertips. The main character seems to be an illusionist, and I'm already here for that, so can't wait to check this one out. So yeah, that is it for that particular section of my portion of the haul.
Anyway, right, so I'm going to start out with a couple of kind of thriller-y novels that we got from publishers. One of them is called The Chrysalis. It says, "Don't go in the basement." I mean, for anybody who kind of feels like
Let's
that,
not go in the basement.
Nobody wants to go into the basement
Not
unless
the creepy one.
not the creepy one. And yeah, welcome to the dark side of suburbia. And so it's obviously one of those kind of creepy, powerfully, wonderfully twisted tales. And kind of excited to see what that's about. And then the next is Trust Me by Hank Phillip E. Ryan. And it's one of those murder mystery type deals where there's somebody who's accused of killing, and then there's a journalist who's kind of grieving for whatever reason, and now they both have to unravel the kind of mystery that's on there. So seems like typical fare, and plus with glowing reviews, so that's always kind of a fun thing to wade into. And then we've got some middle grade books. I want to start with The Extremely Inconvenient Adventures of Bronte Meadowstone.
I really like that cover.
It's a lovely cover, and apparently it's a little girl who just recently discovered that her parents didn't just go away, they went away and then recently got murdered by pirates, which sounds terrible, but she seems to be unbothered because, like, well, they had adventures without me. Now
that's the part that bothers her.
Now it's my turn, and so very, very interested to see where this is going to take her. The next is The Storekeeper's Island by Catherine Doyle.
That one looks promising.
I know, it looks lovely. It's one of those debut novels. It's got magic. Okay, so check this out. When Fionn Boyle sets foot on Arranmore Island, it begins to stir beneath his feet. He soon learns that the island is like a book with the ability to turn its own pages. Once in a generation, it chooses a stormkeeper, and I'm like, that's the thing that I'm reading it for that. And then lastly, I saw these at VA this year, and it is a sampler of the second Dragon Watch book, which is really, really cool. So I had begun kind of the Fablehaven series by Brandon Mull. This is apparently a companion series to the Fablehaven series, so it is its own thing. So Dragon Watch 1 has already been out since last year. 2 is coming out this year. I believe an arc, if not a finished copy, is coming of this our way, so kind of don't want to get spoiled. So I may not read this until we actually get the thing, or until the book actually does come out. So either way, very excited that we're getting these from the publishers, and it's a nice little foreshadowing of things to come.
Cool. Okay, so the next things are things that I either bought or that were given to me as a gift, so we're just gonna get started. Now, it wouldn't be one of our hauls if we didn't have some form of Harry Potter in it, because
every other haul has a Harry Potter related thing.
And so the one in this particular haul is this box set of the Harry Potter books. On the sides, it has the houses. Let me show you. Hufflepuff. And it has these black spines with like a pattern on them, and these are actually illustrated by Brian Selznick. And
let's have one out, shall we, while you speak?
If that sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you know him from the work he's done on Wonder and a couple of other books. So these illustrations are all black and white, and the titles come in color, and they are stunning in person. I just love looking at them all together, and they actually, I believe they all connect to form one long picture, but we're not gonna do that because I don't think we can hold all these books without hurting ourselves.
And they were giving like full posters of kind of all of the covers.
But they're lovely, and we just had to have them for our shelves because we don't have enough Harry Potter over there, because that's our life, basically. Next is a book I bought when I was feeling particularly proud of myself for doing something. You know, reward. If you guys want to know what the thing was, it was actually not being completely awkward in the interview that I did with Jenny Han for Facebook Live. So I was very proud of myself, and I ended up going to Barnes & Noble, and to kill time I just walked around, and I ended up picking up a copy of The Alice Network by Kate Quinn, and I did it because 2 of my very best friends, Hannah from So Obsessed With and Kelly from Bella the Literati, love this book. It's historical fiction. It is about there's female friendships in it. That's really all I needed to know, but then both of them absolutely raved about it, so I'm like, okay, I will also be buying this book and reading it, so looking forward to that. And then we have a whole slew of books that I somehow managed to acquire while I was in Virginia for like 2 days. I was literally there for 2 days, and then all of a sudden I came home and all these books were here. So I...
magically with her.
This first book is one that Jody Meadows, the author of the Incarnate series, the Orphan Queen duology, and the Fallen Isles trilogy, gifted me a couple of books. The first one is Rook by Sharon Cameron. This one is like a YA take on a historical, I think, person or event. I can't remember exactly what it is, but we were talking about this one with Martina Boone, who is another author, and just the way she was describing it and the way she talked about it made me want to read it, so that's what I will be doing. And then Jody also gave me a paperback copy of Before She Ignites, which is going to go up on my Jody shelf, which is somewhere behind us. But I bought a book while I was down there because the entire reason that I had gone to Virginia was to be at the launch party for the sequel to that book, which is As She Ascends, and it has this beautiful like purpley cover. Both books are so great. If you are wondering what they are about, this first book has Mira finding out a secret that potentially threatens her entire country, and she brings this to the authorities and they don't want her telling anyone, so they throw her in prison. And so she has to work out, you know, what she's willing to stand up for and what she's gonna do and how to get out of this prison. And then the second book, obviously, it continues her story, and both are really, really good. They're very, very strong when it comes to different themes that are explored, so you should definitely check it out. Plus dragons, you can't go wrong with dragons. I also now have a paperback of The Mirror King, which is the second book in the Orphan Queen duology, which matches now the paperback of the Orphan Queen that I have. In that one, there is a princess who is trying to recover her throne and her lost kingdom, and there's also a masked crusader trying to rid the world of a particular magical problem they're having. And I also have a paperback copy of My Lady Jane, which is by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This one is the story of Lady Jane Grey, who is the 9-Day Queen, only it's told with some shape-shifting and possibly some sarcasm. Just kidding, there's a lot of sarcasm in that one. It's really good, and the companion to it, which is totally unrelated and you can read it separately, My Plain Jane, also came out this year. And then, of course, because I always buy something whenever I go into a bookstore, and Jody's book didn't count because I would have bought it anywhere anyway, I bought a book called Fierce Fairy Tales, Poems and Stories to Stir Your Soul, which is by Nikita Hill, and I just love the cover. And
it's gorgeous. My
friend Rachel from Hello Chelly was reading it, and she had posted a few passages from it, and it just sounded so good, and I was enjoying it so much, so I was like, I should buy it. Next is a book you've already seen me haul. However, I gave that book to someone else because I ended up getting another copy of it because, and this is very important, it's signed by the author, Haulin Huang. If you didn't know, The Kiss Quotient is probably one of my favorite contemporary romances that I have ever read. It is funny, it is sweet, it really captures also like the Asian family dynamic very well, and the relationship is just very cute, so would highly recommend. And then, unsurprisingly, I have two books that are the same book, except different editions, and we have the US and the UK hardcover editions of Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas. This one came in the LitJoy crate, and this one came in a Luma crate, and obviously I am clearly very excited to have both these editions. You guys already know I'm a Sarah J. Maas fan, and also I just want to read a Catwoman book, so can't wait.
Well, she did enjoy the Bruce Wayne book, so
oh my
obviously.
God, so good. That book is so good. And that is it for that portion of my haul.
Right, so I bought a couple of things as well. I'm gonna start with the kind of a manga. I want to say bargain that I got, Kodocha. And there are only about 10 volumes of it. It's a story about, well, if anybody who's seen Marmalade Boy, and we'll talk about that in another in an anime recommendation. These two look like the characters from Marmalade Boy, but like tiny because they're like
Baby.
In grade school, but on crack. You know, like the drug and the hallucinations and the crazy things. It centers around a young girl named Sana, who I'd like to say is a child star, and she's part of like a famous like TV show with kids, and she has her own movies and stuff. Her mom is a famous author with a chipmunk living in her head. No, not like in her, like on her actual head. And she just never stops talking. The entire thing. I mean, whoever the voice actress for this character is amazing because she never stops talking. She's nonstop anything, and she butts heads with a school bully who, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to want to harm her, and sort of things come to a head, and apparently so does their relationship. So this is really just her tale of kind of like growing up and I had to just read the entire manga because the anime I think kind of stops halfway through, doesn't really finish kind of the entire story from last I checked. So that was fun to get. And then I had a tiny little Kindle haul, but very, very significant. The first of which is Harbinger by Nicole Conway. Harbinger, I want to say, is the second book in the Dragon Rider Legacies series. The first 4 books that started out with Fledgling all the way to kind of the end. The first 4 books center on Javid, who out of nowhere in a culture where only the elite get to be chosen by dragons, gets to be chosen by a wild dragon that they were either going to put down or, you know, break to bridle.
Put down dragons.
They do that apparently in this thing here, and then he connects with them. The adventure kind of, you know, terminates in this terribly, you know, large scale war that obviously takes its toll. The Dragon Rider Legacy series, which is where Harbinger sits, happens several years, I think, what, 30 years-ish, thereabouts, after that, pretty far into the future, long after the time of that era. And you get to see some maybe familiar characters, see what's going on, and then a new thread comes in, which sort of is a mirror of kind of an old theme from the first 4 books. So very interesting. I devoured the first 4 books just like that. So now to kind of get these next series books piecemeal is kind of a little daunting, but love it. And then what I did devour, or sort of in the process of devouring already, would be these the Thrawn books that came out. I caved. I didn't want to go back to the books because they erased the Legends universe. But the one person that they did keep from the Legends universe that is also apparently the first real debut that he's finally canon still would be on Star Wars Rebels, and that would be Thrawn. So that is the first book that I read, my re-entrance into the Star Wars universe canon universe, would be reading Thrawn, book 1. And then the next one, which is Thrawn Alliances, in which Grand Admiral Thrawn jaunts around with Darth Vader. What's interesting to me, because I've already done with Thrawn and I already started the second book, is that I can't help but hear Hayden Christensen. I can't anymore. I mean, there are a lot of folks who absolutely love episodes 1, 2, and 3, and that's fine. That was your generation. You kind of grew up with it. But I can't help but hear Anakin Skywalker as portrayed by Hayden Christensen. That's how Vader talks in my head now, only with a heavy breathing. So that colors the experience, but I recommend it to anybody who wants to try it. So that was a fun thing to pick up.
And now I get to share all of the fun things that I picked up over the last month. So I got to attend an early screening of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which if you have not watched it and you need something cute and fluffy in your life that is also really well written and also has a great soundtrack and also has some great wardrobe choices.
And apparently cute boy.
You definitely have to see To All the Boys I Loved Before, which is out on Netflix. I have seen it 4 times. 3 times in full, 1 time like in pieces, like, you know, bits and pieces of it. It's so good. It's just so well done, and I'm so excited, and I hope they do a sequel. Anyway, so I got to attend an early screening, and there was this little goodie bag. So
it says Netflix.
The first thing in it is, it says, To All the Boys I Loved Before. This is the movie tie-in edition with the lovely Lana Condor on the cover. She did such a great job playing Lara Jean. And then, there's actually more stuff in here apparently, which I didn't realize. Pencil. Brandon notepad. Oh, really nice bookmark. One side says Goodreads, the other side says Netflix.
Lovely.
And obviously the tote bag. So that was pretty exciting. And also, so I was very excited when I came home one day and I saw this. Because I don't even know how to explain to you guys how much I love. First of all, I love Rick Riordan in general, and I think his books are great and wonderful, and I'm so behind, but I also love them all. Every single one I've read. I don't think I've ever rated one lower than a 4, and even the 4s are like 4.5 most of the time. So I was very excited also when he announced that he was doing an imprint, and in the imprint he was inviting authors for certain cultures to do their own cultural lore and mythology and do it Rick Riordan style in a story. So the first book is Arusha and the End of Time, which came out in March, and that one is very fun. It has a very young Sailor Moon vibe to it. And the cover of the second book is flipping fantastic. Oh my god, it's so good and I'm so excited. But the next book that is coming out from that imprint is actually the book that this box is for, and that book is The Storm Runner. Now this box has a thing in it, which is utterly appropriate. Umbrella. It also has some hot chocolate in it, and let me tell you why. One of the Mayan gods is named Ixcacao, and do you know what she's the goddess of? Chocolate. And it's amazing. And I also would like, she would be my patron goddess. I mean, really.
I'm converting tomorrow.
Right? And it has a few like little note cards and stuff. And of course, like the typical promo card thing with all the info. But most importantly and most exciting, it's a beautiful finished copy of The Storm Runner by J.C. Cervantes. Also, it also has the same like treatment as any Rick Riordan novel, which I absolutely love. I have finished reading The Storm Runner and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was surprisingly emotional over it, which is always a good sign. Mackie is in the middle of reading that one.
Yeah, it's a story about a young boy who kind of has like a bum leg and
lives by a volcano.
Lives by a volcano, would rather be homeschooled, but then gets the kind of the worst news ever when they says you're going back to school again.
Yeah.
And just on the eve of that, the Mayan gods decide to sort of interfere with his life, and shenanigans begin to ensue. Because who doesn't? Because what else can you expect if you live next to an active volcano?
Shenanigans.
That's right.
Yeah. And the last thing is actually something that came the other day while I was away. I got a package from Fierce Reads, and I'm very excited about it. In the package was this tote bag, which has names on it, and if you recognize the names, that's because they are characters from Marissa Meyer's books. This tote bag is great, by the way. It's very sturdy. It also has this very cool holographic card that...
Well, you gotta do it slow. There you go, see?
It's so cool. These
Casual
are the
clothes,
characters
superheroes
in this series that the book
superheroes
is included in. They are the characters in Renegades and Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer, and I also got an ARC, and I'm so excited. This is the sequel to last year's Renegades, which is essentially about two groups of people who have opposing beliefs. The Renegades, who are supposed to uphold justice and, you know, govern the town in the right way and protect it, and then the anarchists who don't believe in what the Renegades are doing. And it is so good. I enjoyed it so tremendously. My sister also enjoyed it, even though she guessed what was going to happen in it. And I can't wait to find out what happens next. I am very obsessed with the second book's cover, so excited. So excited, you guys. Anyway, that's pretty much all the books that we have to talk about today. If you are particularly interested in hearing our thoughts on any of them, at some point most of them will probably show up in a What We Read. Otherwise, you can ask us in the comments and we will probably tell you more about it.
Absolutely.
Because right now, all that I'm telling you about it is whatever first occurs to me.
Anyone want to talk about Thrawn? Anyway.
Have a lot of feelings there. If you want to talk about To All the Boys I Loved Before, I'm a girl. We hope you enjoyed this video and the random segues in it. But yeah, till next time, guys. Bye!